Welcome to the January 6, 2025 Advance Report from McGowan Group clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. Top 2024 performances and market overall lead us this way. So how did the top companies in the S&P 500 do versus the bottom companies in the S&P 500? 3 companies in the top 10 are Texas companies. 2 of them are North Texas companies. Leading with Vistra, up 257%, the local power provider, catching this huge data center demand anticipation rally, plus North Texas growth. I've never seen 2 utilities in the top 10. Constellation, similar effect and anticipation of data center demand and rising electricity demand, up 91%, 258 for Vistra. NVIDIA, which was the talk of the town all year long, up 171%. Medical company GE Vernova up 150. This one surprised me. United Airlines up 135%, just as trounced all the other airlines this last year. Texas Pacific Land, 114%. That's 888,000 acres. It was run as a trust, and just whatever royalty they could get, they would send it out. Now it's going to be run more like a real company. They're part of the S&P 500 now. Broadcom up 107%. Houston-based Targa Resources, refining and pipelines. Howmet Aerospace up 102. Those are the top companies. Here in the bottom companies, I'm going to point out something. We covered in the NetWorthRadio.com podcast, which you can find on Spotify or Apple Podcast. We actually covered the fact that thefts over the past 5 years, retail thefts, are up nearly 90%. And you can see it here. CVS Health down 43%, Walgreens down 64%, Dollar General down 44%, Dollar Tree down 47%. That's a wow. Moderna really doesn't have a product without vaccines. They're down 58%, giving you some intelligence on what caused the top and bottom performers for the year. The Dow was up 15% for 2024, a respectable double-digit performance. S&P 500 registered 25%. This was the best 2 years for U.S. equity indexes since 1999. That could be ominous. AI will start to improve productivity, deregulation, but are things overvalued? That's a key question. And one of the key forecasts from Bob Dahl that we covered this weekend in the Spotify program and Apple Podcast, one of the key things, Bob Dahl always does 10 predictions. He was with Nuveen, then he started his own company, Crossmark, and I'm pretty sure he makes more as owner than he did working for them. But anyway, he does a top 10 predictions for the year, and then he grades himself mid-year and the end of the year. So he's the most credible forecaster. He predicts a 10% correction, which may have already begun here. So prepare yourself for a potential 10% correction according to Bob Dahl, and we'll revisit the other forecasts as we go. All right, this is natural gas, up 39%. Actually, at the peak, it was up over 50%, but natural gas has really caught on fire because of the data center demand premise. But the other big part to this is liquid natural gas exportation facilities getting the green light through deregulation here in the first quarter of 2025. That's one of the bigger election impacts. And the companies that are ready to do it, starting with Cheniere, they got a facility that opened this week. I guess even ahead of the deregulation, they said, well, we'll just go ahead and get started. But anyway, there are plans that will double North American liquid natural gas exports for between here and 2028, right? So over the next 3 years, you double LNG exports. What happens to natural gas and what happens to the pipelines? Well, I'll tell you, it's not a detriment. It's a potentially huge benefit to the pipelines, to the liquid natural gas exporters, and to the price of natural gas. That raises the value of quite a bit of energy infrastructure. Now, the price of your house here in North Texas, let's look at what's happened in Dallas. Over the past 5 years, it's been a good run, up 54%. But notice this, it really peaked in the middle of 2022. Since then, the price of the average home in North Texas down nearly 4% from that peak. Well, what happened this year? You could see there was a July peak, and it's about 0.5% below that, but change year over year. This is national, by the way. Nationally, it was 4%. Let's go to Dallas here. And Dallas was only 2%. So Dallas is actually lagging the nation, and it's down 2% from its recent peak. Here, on the Dallas home prices, you start to see a trend, and this could be a harbinger for 2025. It looks like 12% increase in existing homes for sale, and that could drive a price correction in 2025 for residential real estate. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group Wealth Management, and I'm also your financial weatherman. Be sure to subscribe. McGowan Group Wealth Management, we serve affluent families right from the Crescent in Dallas. You can find us at networthradio.com and set your time to upgrade your plan for the year ahead. Thank you for tuning in today to Net Worth Media. We also have Apple Podcast. Simply type in Net Worth Radio and boom, it'll hit your phone right then. If you also go to networthradio.com on a browser, you're going to be able to meet the team. You can see our performance track record, the model portfolios that go with today's broadcast. Also at networthradio.com, the Longer Play podcast is available there as well. We're grateful that you've tuned in. Remember, when we talk about a security, it doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until we actually complete a written plan for you by Zoom or in office or simply a conference call. So you reach us at networthradio.com if you want to get that arranged. Market fluctuations and how to handle them. We build high cash flow portfolios, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so you do have to be ready for challenging markets. We can build more cash flow during challenging markets than we can when everybody's happy and everything's up, which is when we tend to raise tactical safety. Those allocation strategies are here at networthradio.com. Thank you for tuning in.